Welcome to episode 135 of the Super Parent Syndrome, and I am your host, Dr. Nick Fanning. This is where we help parents parent themselves. Sit back and relax. Let's talk about people-pleasing and collections.
Parenting in the 21st century is ever evolving, and while you balance work, kids, and your sanity, it's easy to feel discouraged. Welcome to the Super Parent Syndrome with your host, Dr. Nick Fanning.
So I've been in business since 2012, actually December of 2011, but mainly 2012. And here's the thing, it took me 6 years before I actually sent somebody to collections. Now, for some, they might think this is a good thing. Some are like just going like, this is atrocious. Because here's the thing. We would call, we would send letters. We'd send certified letters. We'd try letters with different paper. We'd have our lawyer send letters. We'd call them again. We'd do this over and over again. We're just trying to stay in communication. And literally, if anybody had any reason whatsoever, so like, hey, my mom is sick or my uncle's cousin needed new tires or whatever it might be, we would just like say, okay, we understand. We'll get to it. And here's the thing. I would either end up taking the hit or I'd just keep that balance there longer and longer and just staring at me until finally in 2016, I actually started standing up for myself. So I guess technically if I do the math, that's 4 years. It took me 4 years before I actually sent my first person to collections. I hate doing it. I really honestly, and I was terrified that people would just stop liking me. And even though they were basically okay with me doing the work and them really not paying for the results, I would make up all these stories. Now, here's the thing. Lots of people had valid reasons, but I'm talking about the folks that would just completely ghost us, meaning they wouldn't call us back, they wouldn't contact us, they wouldn't even sign for their certified letters. They just avoided us completely and keep us out of the loop. Avoiding the problem, avoiding this situation, which in all honesty, it could have been something as simple as, hey, I don't have the money. And I could, like I've said in many times, or I'd say like, tell you what, don't worry about it. In 3 months, I'll give you a call again and get an update. Those people I have no problems with. But I would actually be terrified that the people that were ghosting us had all these stories and all these reasons for not liking me or liking The Office. Because here's the thing, I am a recovering people pleaser. Okay, a quote unquote nice guy. And it has nearly cost me my business. I have been to collections myself for my own business. In fact, there for a while, I wasn't paying my payroll taxes because I couldn't cover the difference of what's going on. And I can tell you this, there was at one point where if I'd collected on every single thing that was owed to me, I would have no tax debt. I would have had all my credit cards paid off, and I would have been able to like invest in some new equipment and technology. And I'm not trying to complain. I'm not trying to bitch with this, but I'm trying to say is the fact is that I was such a people pleaser that I was willing to basically kill myself. You know what I mean? Not physically kill myself, but like starve by being a nice guy. I was being a nice guy into bankruptcy, and it was just to be liked. Now, here's the thing. Do you really think people actually even cared or really liked me more because I was putting myself... I was torturing myself or sacrificing myself for the greater good? Like, does anybody really think that? I can tell you this, is that nope, nobody even cares. And if you're trying to be like me, and you know deep down I'm right, you know that you're sacrificing everything for what? For maybe a story in your head that you're doing the right thing? Maybe. And yet, at the same time, you have these people who are walking all over you who have no problem doing this because they think that, quote unquote, you're not going to do anything about it. I can tell you this, you got to stand up for yourself. Because if you're providing amazing value to the world, you should be rewarded for that. And that I'm not just talking money, I'm talking about love or respect or attention or time. Because you might be like just doing everything you possibly can for your spouse or your kids or for your company. And here's the thing, if you're not getting the return that you think, you got to do one of two things. One, you either got to stand up for yourself and either demand more vacation time, more money, or a promotion or whatever it might be, or you're going to have to choose to just continue being taken advantage of. And there are those people who honestly, really you think that you're doing amazing work, but you're really not. Those people, you're going to have to come up with some sort of hard fact that you're going to live. But for the majority of people who are like going above and beyond and not being rewarded for it, you're going to get burnt out. In fact, you're going to get so burnt out that you're either going to go mentally insane for yourself, or you're going to completely burn it all or trash it all because you just can't keep doing this for anymore, or you're just going to completely implode and have a mental breakdown. So the question is, wouldn't it be that much better just to actually state what you want? Because unless you're willing to express your needs, I'm sorry, but no one's coming to save you. No one is going to go out of their way to meet your needs. And the ironic part is that if you're a recovering people pleaser like me, or a quote-unquote nice guy syndrome guy, you literally think that if you work hard enough, that somebody is going to do that for you. And if it doesn't happen, the solution is for us just to work even harder. Now, I've been reading this amazing book called No More Mr. Nice Guy, and it has completely opened my eyes to realize the fact that not everybody thinks this way. That not everybody thinks that they're going to go above their bond to try to please you. That's normal. That most people are just really honestly there to live a good life, to take care of their own needs, and obviously keep their kids alive and keep things running. But for the most part, if you don't say anything, they assume you're happy. That because they have no problems asking for it. So again, if you're a recovering people pleaser, if you are a nice guy syndrome, we need to have a chat. Because I can tell you this, that I wasted 37 years of my life. I sacrificed more than I should have, so that way I could be a quote-unquote nice guy, even though in that process, I know ultimately that's not really what I was trying to do. I was trying to soften blows or trying to help with feelings, and really nothing was going that way. That the best thing we can possibly do is just stand up for ourselves. The best thing we can do is actually just ask for what we want or what we need. And by doing so, it doesn't make you selfish. It makes you human. Just like a little kid has no problems asking for something they want, you got to have that courage again. And I can tell you this, when you're first starting out, it's going to be scary. You feel like you're going to lose everybody in your life. You feel like that everybody's going to hate you or think you're selfish. But at the same time, I want you to think about those people in your life that are doing that to you, and you don't feel like you hate them. You don't feel like they're being selfish. You don't feel like you think less of them or love them less. So again, this podcast today is really not for everybody. But what I am doing is I'm reaching out to the nice guys or nice girls or the people pleasers out there who are trying to do everything they can and not standing up for what they want. And you could be so overwhelmed and so done with it that you have no idea what to do next except for to try to work harder, to try even harder. And I can tell you this, it's not going to work. Okay, it's time that you fill your own cup so you can fill others. And that's what I mean when I say that statement of putting your own seatbelt on first before helping somebody else with theirs, putting their air mask on yours before you help somebody else, filling your cup before you fill another's. Because if you have nothing left to give and you're living your life for another's happiness, you're both going to end up unhappy. So, not exactly a pep talk today, but I can tell you this. There is going to be some action from this. So for those that this jived with, let's message me and let's get something started. Let's get started working on something. For those that haven't, that this doesn't speak to, obviously this message wasn't for you, but probably next time will be. These podcasts have been on fire lately. Man, I've gotten more feedback from the last few days than I have this entire time. So here's the thing. If you feel called to it, please share this podcast. Take a screenshot of it, put it on your phone. Hashtag Superparent Syndrome. I'm going to look that up. I'm going to give a prize to somebody who's done it. Otherwise, just spread the love. Pay it forward. You got this. I know you got this. So until next time, talk to you later, folks.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the Super Parent Syndrome. Please be sure to visit peptalksforparents.com for more content and our free newsletter. And remember, you are not alone.